Well, welcome everyone. Sandra Horton. I'm so glad to be live today. It is an amazing day, and welcome to another uplifting episode of the Coffee Chat with myself, Sandra J. Horton. I'm truly so glad that you're joining me, especially, as we're working and wrapping up this 2024. Wow, what a year, what a season that we're going through. At this time of year, there's just so much to be full of joy about. But also, it can be very overwhelming. It can be tired and fatigued. I don't know if that's familiar with you, but for some it is. For me, it was for a bit. The feelings of resistance, what was showing up for me in these moments? I want to remind all of us today that even in the midst of all of this chaos, we can make a commitment. We can make a commitment to ourselves and a commitment to others, to truly having an opportunity to unlock and renew and bring new energy and focus. So, how do we do that? Well, today we're going to dive into a couple of different areas around commitment. And commitment can help us, it truly can. It can help us to move through our feelings of resistance, of tiredness, and stress that often hits us during these holiday times. I want to talk about how we can overcome these barriers and make powerful commitments that will leave you feeling stronger and more aligned and ready to take on what's next. It truly is all about choosing that right path, even when perhaps the right path may be the easier route. That's tempting. But let's choose the right path, not the easy path. A couple areas I want to talk about first is overcoming the resistance and overwhelm. So I talked about that just at the very onset. For me, this was a real thing. And perhaps maybe wherever you are in your journey, you're starting to consciously recognize I've got some resistance showing up for me right now. I got to stop this overwhelm. Well, here are a few key areas, what you can do today as we dive into that. So, what is the first step? Well, it may seem simple, but truly you need to recognize that resistance. As an emotional intelligence practitioner, and someone who has learned to have to go within to really recognize this resistance, the emotions that are showing up. Because before I was very numb, externally focused. I would feel drained and I would resist things and I wouldn't understand what was happening. Why was I feeling these ways? And then at the end, I wouldn't have an answer and I'd go on to empty. So here's what you can do, because resistance is natural. First of all, you need to define, where are you feeling these emotions? Because it is a natural part, it's a natural experience. And how we can start to become aware of this is understand our procrastination, our fatigue, our resistance is what is showing us, I'm feeling this a certain way. Name it. And then make a decision to give yourself grace, to understand the demands on your time, and just release it and let it go. Because what I found is when we are not allowing ourselves to feel it fully, it shows up in our body even harder. And in the consulting world that I have found, people who, like myself previously, we were numb, we were externally focused, we didn't take the time to feel what we needed to feel. And perhaps for you as a leader, this may have been something that you're used to doing as well. We need to commit again to stop and look at the commitment to ourselves, to feel our feelings fully, release things that aren't, helping us today. So sometimes we have to take time off to do that. Like actually take time off to release the frustrations, the annoyances, all of those things, and just I'm taking time. I need time for myself. And that could be a big courageous step for you to take the time to own those feelings, own what's going on inside of you, to take time for you. And I keep repeating that, but it's so powerful because, we're built on our habits, aren't we? We build these habits unconsciously. They're hypnotic rhythms. We just naturally do what we're guided to do without thinking about what is driving those behaviors. So if you need to take time, take time. Give yourself that gift. Realize that you need to change. We need to shift our perspective. And what I mean by that is we have these habits. How we look at the world is based on those habits unconsciously. We need to ask ourselves greater, better, perhaps even wonderful questions. Because as a collective, you and I, we can change our way. We can reduce these resistors and embrace a new way forward. So instead of seeing resistance as a roadblock, we can look at it as a signal to pause and reflect and realign. It's telling us what we need is a moment to reconnect with our thinking, getting out of our back brain from that automatic fight flight into response, into our left hemisphere, to get curious. So stepping back and looking at that bigger picture. How does that resonate for you? I remember very well, when I made that decision consciously to do things differently. I also found a way to help others when I was feeling overwhelmed. I want to look at a story that really resonates for me because this could be you in a leadership story. You may have people around you who are exhibiting the feelings or the expressions of burnout, meaning they may have low energy, they're lacking engagement, they're just frustrated or angry. The different emotions are starting to come out. And as a leader, you have an opportunity now to pause and reflect and engage with them in a different way. Dive into what's happening for them in this moment. Also for yourself. If you're feeling overwhelmed and challenged, perhaps your industry is one that is challenged at Christmas time. This is your busiest time of the year. You can make a commitment to yourself to go deeper into your purpose, to realign deeply with that, and then show up with a smile, with some gratitude about the opportunity to be of service. I go back to this resistance, because if we don't, we're going to be resisting what's happening to us. Mindful of the words. It's not happening to you, it's for you. How can you get clear about understanding that in this moment, if I reconnect within me to identify those emotions, how am I balancing? How am I naming them? The emotional self-expression is key. So here's an action that you can do. I want you to think about a moment when you felt overwhelmed or had resistance. What was it trying to teach you? How can you shift your mindset to see it as an opportunity to recommit to a bigger purpose, to your purpose? Whether you're leading yourself and you're an entrepreneur or you're leading others, just reconnecting to that. So I want to go now a little bit deeper into commitment to self. It's a little different than last coffee chat that we had. How do you overcome fatigue? Because we talked about that. There were different lessons and strategies that you can do. But really, when we commit ourselves, and the word to commit to ourselves, if we are feeling that overwhelm and we're just tired, how can you commit to yourself to not be pulled in all these different directions? Because if you don't, you can truly be feeling drained. So what do we need to do? We need to get to the heart of everything that you're doing. Write on a piece of paper. Write it out. What are you doing? What is your time that you're spending in these different activities? We talked in the last episode about actually putting down and jotting down what you're committed to not doing. It's very powerful because you can give back yourself time. And with more time and more intention and bringing in the positive, you can improve your overall well-being. It's not impossible. It is possible. It starts again with those small actions. I know it can sound very cliche, but self-care is truly the foundation for all of us to not be overwhelmed or overcome by tiredness and burnout. We're doing too much. Can you delegate? And it's recommitting to those patterns, becoming aware of how you're thinking and what you're doing, and stopping and making new choices, changing your perspective. Can you delegate that out to others? It's committing in this holiday season to taking some minutes of deep breathing, going for a walk, or just, again, simply saying no. If we're always saying yes, then we're having no boundaries. We need to be able to say no. And then with intentional actions can truly make a huge difference. So let's commit to ourselves, commit to our recharging our batteries, bringing up that energy. And sometimes it's just about, again, I said earlier, taking breaks. It's about actively choosing to give yourself grace and space to connect to your heart, to your mind, to that higher calling. Mental clarity, if we're overwhelmed, can be challenging for us. Reduce the number of stressors. It's like a smorgasbord. We put a whole bunch of things into our smorgasbord. This is going to taste great. I want all these things. If you add more to your plate, what are you willing to remove in lieu of that? We need to be more intentional and more focused. And I know you're resilient. I know you can overcome these things. But if we don't have our solid self-talk with self-care, with strong boundaries, it can lead to overwhelm. So pay attention to yourself. What are your heart signals? What is feeling? What's happening for you within your body in this moment? I truly hope this is making you feel lighter and brighter, and that with focus, with intention, you can truly find a way to remove overwhelm. It just begins with that choice and looking at your commitments to yourself, to have clarity, to be aligned to your values and not overstretched with all these demands. And commit to also being a service to others. One of the greatest things that I found in my life when I was going through very much periods of overwhelm and anxiety, things were just a lot for me, whether, I was going through divorces or things like that. I'm blessed now that I'm in a great, wonderful relationship and stable, but for some, that may not be the truth. We must, in these moments, when we're feeling this overwhelm, reach out to someone else. Be of service to others. Because guess what? It shifts your perspective. You're in service to someone else. It reduces our stressors. It elevates the wonderful neurochemicals that we want to have in our brains. Because if we only focus on our needs, then we're focused only on our needs. We need to open up, be open. We're always transmitting. And so be of service to someone else who may be of less fortunate circumstance than yourself, even in the direst of circumstances. Put a smile on your face. You cannot feel anxious when we're smiling. We're shifting from that back brain, that primitive brain, into our front, into that lovely response, into the left hemisphere, where we can get creative and curious. And truly, this is the holiday season of giving. What can you do to give now? So I want to ask you a few questions about this. How can you offer your acts of service to someone? Are there opportunities when you're out and about, even this week, to share a smile, share a gratitude, comment on someone else's, way of being, their smile, whatever it is, or actually doing service? I'm reminded of this in the work that we do at New View Society. And every December 25th, the board members and staff, we show up and we wonderfully cook a brunch for all of our clients. And it's really heartwarming because many of these individuals are living with a persistent mental health challenge. They don't have family. They don't have a lot of people around them. We are the family. So if you're not feeling, I don't know if I'm really feeling great this season, go out, offer, volunteer, be of service to someone else. Give your heart that love so you can give love to others. It is such a beautiful, powerful way of shifting our state, of shifting into gratitude and that curiosity and with heart, as I said earlier. This is really, really important. It's breaking bread. It's being of that service and not looking for anything from others. It's a generosity of that heart to another heart. And I open my hands. Use your hands. Use your words. Get on the social medias. This is why I'm called to do what I'm called to do. I got goosebumps about that. I hope this lands for someone out there who may need this message. Even just one thing to say, you know what? I got this. You got this. You do. You matter. I do genuinely care and why I want to do this. So if you're in that state of overwhelm and frustration, just breathe it out, release, let it go, open yourself up to something new, shift, become purposeful, direct your mind in a new way. And if you are working this holiday season, have empathy. In our book, Activate Success, Tip, Tools, and Insights to be a Leader in Your Niche, the greatest thing we can do in this season is to have empathy. Understand if people are showing up to work and they're stressed and they're overwhelmed because they're not truly in this moment able. Help them. Give them that space. Pull them into your office and have a conversation. Find out what's going on for them. Be of service. Give willingly and freely without any expectation. And maybe someone may give you a call. Be open to others. Be a good active listener in this moment. That's maybe what someone just needs right now. It's just that hope, that belief, that connection. It truly is about that heart connection. So I want you to find someone. I want you to go find someone in your list of people that you know that maybe in your life could use a little extra love or support this holiday season. And write that person's name down. And then decide how can you show them and commit to them to helping improve their well-being. Maybe it's a little gift. Maybe it's a phone call. Maybe it's just anything. Any expression will make a difference. So today we've talked about how to overcome overwhelm and stress. We've talked about commitment to self, commitment to being of service, commitment to others. And by doing that, you can reduce overwhelm, resistance, fatigue. It's about balance, but there is perhaps maybe not even a real right balance. It's about self-awareness, becoming self-aware of ourselves, of our feelings, of how we're showing up. And as I say to my family, if I start showing up prickly is my buzzword, find your own word. If someone says prickly to me, I know, okay, I better sit down, go for a walk, do something, ground myself, and show up more openly. This truly is really powerful, and it will help you. It'll reduce the stress, just calm yourself down, deep breathe, meditate. So again, my personal call to action, listen attentively with intention, go find that one person, just one person that you want to give back to. And this commitment to daily acts of kindness with gratitude will transform your life, reduce your stressors, bring in more positivity rather than looking at the lack, or if I don't have money, or if I'm overstretched on what I'm expectations of having to buy everyone gifts or things. Just release and let it go. And choose in 2025, how do I want to show up? Make a commitment to yourself to improve your overall well-being. Fill your cup first in order to fill others. It makes a difference. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming in, sharing a little coffee chat with me. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. It's warmed my heart. I just love to share. And I really hope it touches your heart. I look forward to seeing you after the Christmas few days. I will be back with another conversation as we wrap things up wonderfully into 2025 in our wonderful intentions with our goal settings. So until after Christmas, I wish you a wonderful blessings. However you celebrate this time of the year, celebrate it with a connection with your heart to your mind, to a higher calling and consciousness. I wish you all the very best. Bye for now.